and welcome to another edition of Chiodini's Kitchen, video game recipes made real. Now this week's recipe is so fresh it's still twitching, and I have an inkling you might like it. This week we're making the Super Seanwich from Splatoon 2. So in Splatoon 2's Inkopolis Square, there's a food cart run by the amusingly named Crusty Sean. He sells a number of foodstuffs, all of them worryingly based around prawn tempura, which Sean himself appears to be. The traitor. Anyway, of these, the one that really caught my eye was the Super Seanwich, which appears to be a hot dog with prawn tempura as the bun. Alright then. Now I do have a sneaking suspicion prawn tempura isn't going to be the best substitute for an actual hot dog bun, but to be honest I've been playing a lot of Splatoon 2 this week and really enjoying it, and I thought, hey, there's a food item in here, I'm excited to make it, let's give it a go and see how it turns out. So with that in mind, here's everything you'll need to make a Super Seanwich. 130 millilitres of cold water, preferably fizzy, 130 grams of plain flour, 1 egg, some king prawns, a bottle of vegetable oil for frying, sausages, lettuce, ketchup and mustard. So the first step is to get a pan and start heating up some vegetable oil, enough to comfortably deep fry some prawn tempura. Now I'll stress that heating oil up and deep fat frying things is kind of dangerous. Lots of things can go wrong, you can burn yourself, it can catch fire, so if you are going to do this, be very careful. As soon as you start heating your oil, do not leave it unattended, and make sure before you start you know exactly what to do in the event of an actual oil fire, because if anyone got hurt recreating this stupid recipe, I'd feel pretty bad. Okay, so our oil is heating here on the stove, so it's time to start making our tempura batter. We're going to start off with 130 grams of plain flour, and then we're just going to make a well in the middle, like that, to which we are going to add a beaten egg. And 130 millilitres of cold water. Now I'm actually using fizzy water here to use to make the batter, excuse me, which I'm going to start stirring here. And the idea is that the fizziness of the water makes a lighter batter. That's the idea anyway, and we're just going to keep stirring this until all of it's combined and it's made what you might call a tempura batter. Now, tempura batter tends to be a bit thinner than others, and to be honest with you, that is looking quite thin. So quite thick. So what I'm going to do is add a bit more water until it is the right consistency. I'll try and update the recipe if I can. But yeah, just do what feels right until it's the right consistency. I'll show you what that consistency is as soon as we reach it. Okay, right. That, hopefully you can see that there, is a bit better. It's quite a thin batter, so it should fry up nice and light. So with the batter prepared, it's time to add in some of our king prawns. I've got some raw king prawns here. As you can see, they're kind of curly, so I don't think I'm going to come out with the kind of like straight as a rod, tail on tempura you can see in the game. These are the only prawns I could find. Hopefully you can find better ones, but if not, just scout around and use what you have. To be honest, with the way these are going to come out, i.e. curly, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have to use more than one for each side of the bun, as it were, which, to be honest, is no bad thing, because I love prawn tempura, so I'm going to start dropping these in the batter. So hopefully you can see in here we've got our prawns, and I'm going to start using a pair of chopsticks to make sure they get nice and evenly coated. The reason I'm doing this is it means I'll be able to sort of pick them out of the bowl like that and put them in the oil neatly without sort of sloshing loads of either oil or batter around. So we want this ideally to be a fairly neat operation. We're just going to wait until our oil gets up to speed. I think it's not quite there yet because I kept the flame low because I didn't want to accidentally set my kitchen on fire while I was talking to you. But as soon as that is ready, we're going to start frying these up. So I'm just going to test the oil now by flicking a little bit of batter in there. Yeah, I reckon that is probably hot enough. Fingers crossed anyway. So, here goes. Right, so that's the intimidating part over and done with. I have taken the heat off under my oil and I'm just leaving that to cool very, very carefully in the corner. I'm not going to disturb it. And I'm pretty happy with how the prawn tempura turned out, to be honest, given that I've never actually made those before. The batter is really nice and light and crispy, which I guess is a tacit admission that I've been snacking on the prawn tempura, which I don't normally do during recipes. I don't normally eat what I'm cooking along the way, but I had to try at least one. But anyway, can you tell that I was a bit nervous about frying and now I'm sort of slowly relaxing? What we're going to do is we're going to leave the tempura now. They're on this this kitchen roll here, and we're going back to the stove because we need to fry up a sausage for the hot dog. This recipe's bizarre. About as bizarre as Splatoon 2 actually, which again is a very, very good but very, very strange video game. Okay, so the sausage is cooked, the prawn tempura is done. Now all we need to do is assemble the Super Seanwich. Now if you'll remember, the in-game item has the prawn tempura on the outside, and then it looks like there's kind of lettuce underneath the sausage, and then there's condiments kind of drizzled on top in that classic hot dog way, which is kind of annoying because I was hoping to use ketchup to stick the prawn tempura to the side of the sausage, but with the lettuce in the way I don't think that's going to be an option. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is just sort of assemble it on a plate and see if it holds together when I pick it up. Let's find out. Alright, so let's actually start with the lettuce. I know that's not normally what you do when assembling a hot dog, but then most hot dogs involve a breaded roll. Here comes the sausage. That looks like an awful lot of lettuce. See what, we'll trim this down because presentation is everything. It's very, very neat on Sean's cart, if you haven't noticed already. So there we go, it's kind of forming a nice little sausagey cradle. And then what we're going to do is grab some tempura and stick it alongside. Oops, excuse my hand, in the way of the shot. There we go, there's one. Just turn it so you can see. 3. Oh, only 4 bits. Really? Only 4 bits of prawn tempura for one delicious Super Seanwich. Alright, condiments, and then I'll show you a close-up. Alright, so here's the Super Seanwich in all its glory, and you know what? I'm actually quite pleased with this. I mean, it looks like a hot mess, obviously, but in terms of recreating the in-game item, I could have done worse. Obviously, it's a shame that we had to use curly prawns, so we don't have the kind of straight bun action going on, but I don't think that's a million miles off. I'm quite pleased by that. Of course, I can be as pleased as I like now, but if it tastes like butt, then this has all been for nothing. So I guess let's find out what the Super Seanwich actually tastes like. First challenge, of course, is to see if I can pick it up at all elegantly with just one hand. Yes, sort of. So, Super Seanwich from Splatoon. How the hell am I going to get this in my mouth? Super Seanwich from Splatoon 2. Let's see. Oh, wow. Oh. I mean, I guess the first lesson is that, yeah, actually prawn tempura can be used as a makeshift bun, which is kind of great because it leads me to think, what else could prawn tempura be used for? Could it be used as makeshift breakfast cereal or toothpaste or what? I'm going to say the sausage is, you know, because it's just like a big, meaty, quite moist sausage, it does sort of drown out the crispiness of the tempura, which is annoying because that's the big kind of draw of that dish. But, I mean, it tastes really good. It's meat and prawns, what's not to love? Although I did put English mustard on there, and to be honest, I'm not a big fan of English mustard. But, yeah. That sounds pretty tasty. I'm gonna eat the rest of it before I talk to you again. So if I have any further thoughts, I'll share them then. But for now, I'm gonna put the camera down and just eat the rest of this thing. No, nothing further to add, to be honest. The prawn tempura does function as a bun, but the problem is using it as a bun kind of denies you everything that's great about prawn tempura. You know, like just relegating it to the level of bread means that you sort of miss out on everything that makes it good. And that's a shame, because these are like two of my favourite foods smashed together with a bit of lettuce and some condiments, and it could have so nearly been great, but it just stopped ever so slightly short of greatness. But hey, would I make it again? Probably not, but I did enjoy making it this one time, and hopefully you enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please do consider liking and subscribing, because it really does help us out, and as ever, please do keep those recipe suggestions coming in, because there are loads of foodstuffs for us to find and make in this little kitchen. I'm really glad I found this one, to be honest. I did a little fist punch when I saw that it was in the game, because I knew I was in for a fun time. So anyway, hopefully you'll join us again on Chiodini's Kitchen. There are lots of other videos from Eurogamer to tide you over in the meantime. Some of them are framing my face right now. So yeah, there really remains nothing else for me to say, good one, other than thanks so much for watching, and have a lovely day.